What's happening, YouTube? Got the Gibson USA 2018 SG High Performance. This thing is so beautiful. I've gotten some fingerprints on it since I opened it up about a half an hour ago. But look at this damn thing. Stunning. It's gorgeous, man. Gibson. It's got the robot tuners, the G-Force tuning system. I'm going to show you how it works because I purposely detuned the guitar so you can see it in action. Let me move it over so you can see. Okay. So now, let's see if I can make this happen. We're going to press the button and then strum. Perfectly in tune. The lazy guy in me thinks that's incredible. A lot of people are on the fence about that. Some people freaking hate the fact that it's on there. I think it's awesome, and I give massive kudos to Gibson for putting something like that on their instruments because that is such a huge time saver. I can't even tell you how gross out of tune this was. I set this really horribly. That would have taken me a good, 3 minutes to get it in tune correctly. Whereas you press a button and you strum, pluck a string if it's having a hard time with one of them, and it's in tune. That's invaluable. It saves so much time. It's great for studio, it's great for stage, you don't have to have it going into a tuner pedal or anything. You're not going to run out of batteries on a clip tuner that you forgot to turn off. It has a rechargeable battery pack on it, so when the batteries start to go, it says that it's good for about 150 tunings. Well, maybe not 150. I bet it's not 150, but it's 100 or more tunings before you have to pop the little battery pack out, plug it in overnight or a couple hours, whatever it takes, and it's charged up and it's good to go. This guitar, aside from having that cool robot tuning butler that I have on my headstock, it has this really awesome titanium adjustable nut, which is glorious. It's also a 0 fret, so this nut has a 0 fret built in, so you can get remarkably low action. If you think about how much space is required, if I fret that second fret, this is where the note's being generated. This is the next note that's not being touched, but if you look at the gap, it's tough to tell on the screen, but the gap that's required on that fret is so small. And if that's all you need, there's no reason why your first fret shouldn't also have such a small gap. So you can adjust this to get it right down to where it's supposed to be so that your guitar is going to be intonated perfectly, which this one is. I checked it earlier. It's great. Huge shout out to Wildwood Guitars. When I did the purchase online for this, there's a section that you can put in notes to how you want it set up. You tell them what gauge strings, what brand you want, anything that you want, that you require in your setup, and they'll do it. And I'll be damned, they did exactly what I asked. I like exactly like this. The setup is nice and low. There's a very, very small amount of relief in the neck. Perfect. The pickup height is right. Everything they did is exactly what I wanted. I don't have to touch this out of the box. It's the first time in my life that I've ever got a box out of the case, which the case, by the way, I think doubles as a military-grade bomb shelter for guitars. That thing it's legit, and it weighs a ton. So if you've got a bad back, don't buy this guitar. That case is super heavy, but it's worthy to protect this thing. So yeah, you got the nut. Down here we've got titanium saddles in the bridge, which is awesome. So you're never going to wear those things out because in order to wear out a material, it has to be worn out by something that's harder than that material. Strings aren't harder than titanium, so these things aren't going to go anywhere. They're going to last a lifetime. Same thing with this nut. It's never going to wear out. which is good because when you've got a robot tuner that when you try to tune it, it goes and the strings are going to be sliding back and forth. A regular nut would basically be sawn in two, whereas this titanium nut, it's impervious to these strings, which are steel. You know, steel is nowhere near as strong as titanium, so it's not going to carve a groove in them. The frets, from what I've read, are nickel, but they're cryogenically treated, which is science. Science that I have no knowledge of, but it's supposed to be really cool. There's no pickup rings. There's no screws for mounting the pickups. Those are in the back, which is awesome. So if you want to adjust the height of the pickups, you adjust it back here. I love that. I think it makes the guitar look super sexy. There's no unneeded screws on the face of your guitar. One of the things, I've always loved Stratocasters from Fender, but I hate the fact that you can see all those screws on the pickguard, on the pickups, and all that stuff. My Strandberg, same thing. I hate looking at screws. This is just dead sexy. It's got a beautiful maple top. You can tell if you look at the wood, you got mahogany on the bottom, maple on the top. So it's literally 50-50 mahogany and maple. One piece mahogany, one piece maple. There's no seam back here anywhere. Legitimately high-end guitar. This thing is awesome. The frets, of course, they have the Gibson, you know, what do they call that on the sides there? Man, I can't think of what it's called. I feel like a jerk right now. But it's got that, the white stuff. Man, brain fart. These knobs are milled aluminum. They're awesome. They're push-pull on the bridge and the neck. So you get a split or a tap, which is switchable. If you look on the back here, there's a plate. If you watched my unboxing video, there's a much better picture of that plate. You can set this. There's a dip switch in the back, a 5-way switch, or a 5-selector switch, I should say, where you can set it to a split or a tap. The difference between a split and a tap for humbuckers, if you don't know, some of you are like, I know, shut up. But there's 2 coils in here. If you split it, right, if you set the switch to split, it'll remove 1 coil so that now you have a single coil. And what happens when you get a single coil? You get 60-cycle hum, which is, man, I hate it. On a gain channel. On a clean, it's not bad, but on a gain channel, I can't stand it. You can also select it to go to a coil tap, which instead of removing one of the coils, it reduces the windings of the coil, the second coil. So it reduces that coil down. It doesn't remove it completely. So you get less hum. You still get a hum, but you get less of it. I prefer to have it set the way I have it now, which I'm not 100% certain which one I have it set to. I listened to it. One of them was louder and had more hum. The other one was a little quieter and had less hum. I went with that one. It sounded really nice to my ears too. It had a more bell-like quality, a little more crystal clear clarity to the notes. That's how I have it set. The other switches that are in there can turn on a treble bleed circuit for both of these volume knobs, or individually. You can set it for this one and you can set it for this one, or either or, off, on, off, on, off, whichever setting you want. I kept the circuit turned off because for me, treble bleed circuits, I don't like the taper that you end up with on the volume knob. It seems to shut off abruptly and turn on abruptly when there's a treble bleed circuit engaged. So I left it turned off. But other than that, those are pretty much the coolest features ever. This guitar is super cool. Let's see how it sounds. So we're in my clean channel right now. I'm using my Boss Katana head running into my orange amp, and I'm just using a single monster cable going into the amp, no pedals in front of it. So you're getting the amp and the speaker and the guitar, which is how I like it. So clean channel, I'm on the bridge pickup right now. Here's the bridge pickup with the tap. Middle, both in humbucking mode. Middle position with the bridge tapped. Middle position with the neck pickup tapped. And now the middle position with both the neck and the bridge tapped. That's nice and spanky. I like it. So now here's the middle position, both humbuckered. I think I did that. I'm not sure, but here it is again. If I awesome. There's many sounds you can get in that middle position. So here's the neck by itself, full humbucker mode. Excellent. So I'm going to put a little bit of gain on here. Here's a medium gain neck pickup full humbucker. Neck pickup with the split, and it's going to get loud. As far as the hum goes. Middle position, both full hum. the bridge pickup. Both pickups bridge split. Middle pickle, awesome. Middle position, neck pickup, tapped, split, whichever it is. Lots of hum. Bridge position, fully humbugged. Bridge pickup with the tap. Lots of hum. Sounds great. Hate the hum. I've always hated hum. Now I'm going to go to a high gain. And by the way, I should say that I'm using the Boss FS 5 position, 6 position switch, whatever it is. It's the Roland pedal, just to switch channels on the amp. It has no effects of its own or anything. It's just a switcher. But here's a high gain channel. Man, I can't speak today. Get the Zach pinch. You gotta find it. Mighty sounding pickups, man. I don't even want to split this because it's gonna be like, bah! But I'm gonna show you anyway. Oh. There's no use for a split when you're on a high gain, so I'm not even going to bother playing on it. Here's a neck pickup. Very creamy, very awesome sounding. I'm very pleased with this guitar. I'm very pleased with that tuning system. A lot of people think it's the stupidest thing ever. I think it's awesome. It saves you so much time. It's so simple to use. Why would you hate it? It requires you to string the guitar in a certain way. There's instructions that come with the guitar that teach you how to string it so that it works. So if somebody's out there and they're stringing their guitar like they normally would, it's not going to work. It's going to have a hard time hearing the string because it's not strung through it the proper way. So if you do what it says and you set it up correctly, it works. And it works great. I've not had a problem with it. I mean, granted, I've had the guitar for an hour and a half. So we'll see. Time will tell, I guess, right? But as it stands right now, I think that's a brilliant, brilliant thing to have on this guitar, and I love it a lot. So there you have it. 2018 Gibson SG high performance model. Awesome. Beautiful top. Absolutely gorgeous guitar. I'm pleased. I can't wait. Tomorrow I'm going to plug this in with the band and see how it sounds at full throat. There it is. Hope you like it. Go check them out if you get a chance to go to a Guitar Center and you see one of these hanging. Pick it up. Put your hands on it because it feels great. I'm going to say one thing that I don't like about this guitar is the typical SG problem, right? Put the guitar on. That neck wants to go. This is sticking to my shirt, so it's not going anywhere, but it has a significant amount of neck dive, right? Pick the guitar up to playing position. Thankfully, I'm a fat guy, so my arm's always on the guitar. I hold it up just by the fact that I have a belly and a forearm. But if I played like a regular person and it was strung a little bit lower, this is a problem. Gibson needs to address this because it's definitely a big problem. I know that you could move this button and bring it up to like here, and that would reduce that significantly because your strap is going to hang different and the balance of the guitar is going to be different if your button is moved up to about here. I'm certainly not going to drill into a $2,400 guitar, so I'm going to deal with this neck being the way that it is. It's a little heavy. If I show you, take this off. By the way, this came with this strap, and it is a shitty strap. I'm not going to use it. It's temporary right now. If I take this guy, let me shut this off. Take the cord out, and I'm just going to hold it by the button back here. If I hold it by the button and let go, that's how it balances. Almost, it's almost straight. So the balance point right here is not bad. But most people play with their neck up a little higher than that, right? They play at this angle. So when it balances, it shifts down. Having your strap button where it is in the back over here, perfectly centered, that contributes to the fact that the neck dives. So if you move the button from here to about here, it would be not an issue. But the balance is not bad. If you play straight out like that, if you're a high slinger, that's probably not going to be a problem for you. If you're a fat guy like me and your forearm's constantly going to be pressing it down, it's not going to be a problem for you. But they do have the neck dive, the traditional SG problem that everybody bitches about with an SG. Doesn't happen on the Les Pauls. But yeah, beautiful guitar. I'm absolutely stoked to have it. And that's all you're getting. I'm going to send out another video soon that deals with the electronics in there. So you can see what it looks like in the back of these guitars too, because Gibson is very forward thinking with their electronics. There's a PC board in there, which is good and bad, because if a pot goes, man, that's a problem. But anyways, beautiful guitar. I love it today. We'll see how it goes through the test of time. But there you go, YouTube. I hope you enjoyed it. Put your hands on one. You'll probably enjoy it too. Take care.